So that works. That works. They're miles away from each other.
Yeah, thank you very much. Well,
hello, welcome.
I hope it's all working. I hope someone's going to tell us if it's working.
Yeah, someone will tell us if it's working. So no, actually, someone will tell us if it's not working. That's what will happen.
Bear with, I'll just go and get a hint.
Okay. Bear with everybody. First time doing a live stream, and this is new ground for us. But welcome to our IC-705 live question and answer session. It's a brand new thing for us. Gary's going to make sure it's working.
Yeah, I am.
I'm sure, like, people watching will tell us if it's working as well.
Yeah, but the thing is, not if we can't monitor it.
Well, that's something that we need to work on, Gary.
You done it?
If I just open up in the YouTube app, that's going to be the easiest thing, isn't it? There's 101 people watching. That's quite scary.
Right. Apparently there's no sound.
There's sound.
We got sound?
I think there's sound. There's 101 people watching. That's, I can hear me. No one ever needs to hear me, Gary.
So there is sound.
There is sound.
Right, okay. Right, there you go. There's a bit of delay. Right.
There is. Right, let's have a... so welcome along, welcome if you're watching live, if you're watching back to the recorded stream. We'll probably get rid of that first bit, Gary. Can we do that?
Yeah, probably later on we can.
Later on. We'll edit that out. But Gary and I are here. We're going to do a little bit of a question and answer session on the IC-705. We've got a list of questions that have been sent in advance. We've got the chat up as well, so we can answer some questions as you send them in as well. So welcome along, and welcome to the Martin Lynch & Sons Superstore here in Staines. Gary,
yes.
Do you want to read the first question that we have?
Well, it's
a multi-part question.
I've got a multi-part one, right? Okay, so it is Hashem. It's asked, will Icom be releasing any band expansion features for the IC-705s? Will there be any modifications able to operate on 23 SEMs like the 9700? The answer to that one is...
The answer to the last one is, as far as we're aware, no. In terms of band expansion, if you're on about a wideband procedure, we don't know at this time. Until Icom release any information to the dealer network, which includes ourselves, we don't know. Certainly out of the box, we'll transmit within the handbands and we'll receive on HF from all the way down the kilohertz, right the way up to 30 megs. And in fact, continuously, all the way up.
I have all that information.
You do? Excellent. So, on the spec sheet, 0.03 to 200 megs. And then from 400 to 470 is the thing. And then, yeah, amateur bands on transmit only. Not including 4 meters.
Yeah, but then obviously don't forget that'll probably be confirmed at a sort of later date. It's early days at the moment. We don't know the actual. I mean, they've actually highlighted here that it might change.
The second part of question from Hashim was, will there be an added antenna tuner feature, whether internal or external? So we know pretty much that Icom have said no to an internal tuner. There's not space inside the radio as far as
there is a connection on there as well, so there will be some third party.
Exactly, and in fact, I'm not sure how easy it is to change the camera angle to show the radio, Gary. But
well, what we can do is, we'll do that in a second.
We'll
go through that.
We'll do that in a second. But you may know that we started doing the Matt tuners quite recently, and we've been in conversation with Matt, and they are working on a tuner for. Specifically for the IC-705. So if you come and see the radio in the showroom, we're showing it with a MAT 10, which is a little tuner that was specifically designed for the 817 and 818, but does work with the 705 quite happily. But there is a dedicated tuner coming.
Right, now then, will Icom release a Bluetooth microphone and headphone accessory to operate the radio remotely from the accessory backpack, for example?
They already do. It's the VS3. It's Icom's little headset they've been doing for many years for the ID5100 with the Bluetooth module and the ID4100. It works perfectly with the IC-705. There are rumours they're going to be doing an over-the-head style headset as well. Don't know about that, but certainly the VS3 that Icom already produce works with the IC-705.
Yeah, and Hashem also asked whether or not there'll be an amplifier built. Well, to boost it to 100 watts. I don't think that will happen.
I don't think Icom will produce one, but third-party manufacturers probably will. In fact, already do.
Thanks, Hashem. Right, now then. How does the 705 RX selectivity and sensitivity compare to the 7300 on HF and 9700 on 2 meters and UHF? It's early doors yet.
It is early doors. I mean, we've done a certain amount of testing in the shop, as you would expect, and honestly, I've not noticed any discernible difference between them. Certainly, that's just on the air. Obviously, you can look at the spec sheet and you can see what the certainly sensitivity should be, but to the ear, they sound very, very much the same.
Right, okay, and that was from Mike. Now then, just seen the video, won't be able to tune in, to travelling on holidays. If you record the session, can you email me the link?
Yes. Yes, we can.
Yeah, it will go out anyway, I'm sure. Now then, obviously, if the gentleman's paid a deposit and some accessories, when can he expect delivery?
Well, at the moment, Icom are touting end of this month as a delivery date. That's the current date that we have.
Excellent.
As soon as we know any more information, we will, of course, update the website, hamradio.co.uk. Search for IC-705. It's a big banner across the top of the page at the moment. But that's where you can find all of the latest information.
And Dave, obviously, he's asked here, can we wideband it? Well, I think we answered that one.
As we said, yeah
right
maybe.
Maybe.
Mike has asked, can we recommend a good HF antenna for the IC-705 in a small apartment? You can, there's a couple of options. I mean, it's not totally disposed by the 705 itself, but sort of accessories surrounding it. You can look at things like the super antenna, always very popular, particularly for living in apartments who maybe have a little bit of a balcony. So super antenna. Alex Loop as well, a very good option.
Yeah.
And even things like the Wonderwand range as well, the widebander and the Wonder Loop as well will also work.
We've also got the DX Commander poles as well, LDG 9 to 1.
There are lots of options for sort of temporary and portable fit antennas.
So whereabouts you got up to?
Second page.
We've got a second page?
That's the one, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so, right, okay, so can we show the noise reduction on CW with a real signal tuned in? And can you show tuning the IF DSP into a more narrow bandwidth while receiving a CW signal? Well, we can. I think we'll probably do that in a second. Yeah, what we'll do is we'll show them the remote socket for the tuner, and we'll do that sort of thing in just a second. So bear with us, Scott. Right, okay. Looking at the manual, it looks like the 705 will not transmit on the 60 metre band in the UK. Is that correct?
To be seen at the moment. At the moment, that's what the manual indicates. However, I'll be amazed if there's not some. I mean, if you look at the manual for the 7300, for instance, that doesn't indicate that it transmits on 60 metres in the UK. So it's going to be a wait and see on that 60 metre. I suspect it probably will, but to be confirmed.
That was from Nick. So thanks, Nick. He's also pointing out that the US version will get it, but
the US have had 60 metres for a lot longer than we have, so it's not entirely surprising. I mean, and in the US, 60 metres is channelized, so it's potentially a little bit easier for manufacturers to put 5 megs onto radios in the US. I mean, for instance, when Yaesu launched the FT817 way back when, the US had already got 6 metres at that point, so it was already channelized within US spec 817s at that point. So I suspect we probably will see it here in the UK.
Right, well, Steve's also Steve has asked, how easy is it to set up repeaters for 2 and 70? Well, we did that yesterday. It wasn't difficult at all. It really is. It's hyper logical. So what we'll do is I think we'll probably do a separate video on some of the bits and pieces at a later date. I'm showing you that, but it is very, very easy. It's very, very logical how it goes together, and it's all touch screen based. So that was really, really good.
Yeah. Japan report highest WR on UHF connected with the dummy load. Can you help to test and compare HF receive IC-705 versus IC-700 versus FT818 with the same antenna? Probably not something we're going to do in this particular video, but certainly, as we've already touched on, 705 versus 7300, very similar. Versus an 818, we'll have to do it a separate occasion. But certainly, we've played with the one we've got here. I've not noticed any highest WR readings on UHF. That's, as far as I'm aware, that could have been just a particular issue with those units, not one we're seeing, not an issue we're seeing here.
Right, now Paul is asking, is the output power adjustable for hardcore QRPers and maybe foundation license users?
Yes, yeah, absolutely is. I mean, obviously, for a foundation license holder, you know, the maximum output power is 10 watts,
yeah.
so you're fine within your license even at full power. But yeah, it is completely variable. So just to run over the specs, just in case you haven't seen them already, when plugged into DC, the radio will produce 10 watts. When reliant on the fitted battery, which is the same battery that Icom have used in the ID31 and ID51 handhelds for a long time, then it produces 5 watts.
But it is rechargeable via the USB.
It is rechargeable via, yes,
yeah,
that was a complete surprise. And finally, can you please show the effective receiver range in 140 to 180 and 410 to 460? Well, as we've already discovered from the spec sheet, it will receive all the way up to 200 megs from right down the kilohertz without a gap.
Yeah.
And there was 400 to 470.
There was one other question as well that I've been asked an awful lot, and I forgot. The manuals are already apparently available on Icom UK, and also there's been an update, I'm told, by Bob.
Okay.
That to the RSBA1 software.
Okay. That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, so it's all good. It's all good signs. Okay, so the maximum current draw on standby, it was 0.3 amps.
Okay.
Maximum audio was 0.5 amps on receive, and on transmit on 10 watts is 3 amps. So there you go. So I would say half of that. It's going to be half again, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, give or take.
Just looking at some of the questions coming in on YouTube.
Yeah, there's one more, by the way. The maximum draw on 5 watts is 2.5 amps, so it is exactly half.
Yeah,
so there you go.
Perfect. A few questions coming in on YouTube. The official real Neil Bruce asks, any antenna that supports 160 meter through to 77s on the IC-705? The short answer is no. That's a heck of a frequency range to try and get over one antenna.
Super antenna's probably
the closest you're going to get. Although super antenna doesn't do 160, but certainly will do from 80 meters all the way up to 2 meters. With something like the MP1 DX Max or the LX Max. But you can add, if you've got one of the old super antennas, you can add the MC2 coil, which will add 2 meter performance to it as well. But that's probably the closest you're going to get out of one antenna.
Yeah. Any more?
Having a quick look through. External mat 75 tuner available now, about £200. Yes, we know we are getting ours next week.
I don't know, this is hard.
When available, ATU AH705. Yeah, that's the official Icom one. We don't yet have an update as to when that's coming. New 705 1-to-1 versions available soon. Yes, they are. Carl at 1-to-1 is producing new versions of the 1-to-1 with a BNC socket on, or BNC plug on, in order to fit onto the 705. That they are on the way. That's about that. So do we want to just show the radio for a little bit, Gary?
Yeah, okie dokie. So let me just, so we'll go that one. There you go. So what have we got on there? The little connections. Can we take that off of there, Jonathan?
We can, yeah.
I'm going to go handheld.
You go, oh okay.
Yeah, we're going to go.
If you're going to go handheld, I can just swim it like
okay.
that. So on this side, you've got your connections to speaker and microphone. We've only connected the microphone here. And then at the bottom, I'm not sure how well that's going to show up on camera, is a micro SD card slot. So if you want to program the radio using the free CS-705 software from Icom. You can download that from Icom Japan's website. Pop it on an SD card, nice and easy. And then on the other side of the radio, and it's a little bit harder to see, I'm not sure how long Gary's cable is going to be, but on this side of the radio we have two 3.5mm sockets there. One is for the tuner connection, the other is for the send and ALC, so you were going to connect it up to a little amplifier, then you would get your P2T lines and your ALC off that 3.5mm. And then the other side you've got micro USB and an input for a CW key. That's under that bottom.
Okay, now then, the CW filter question.
CW filter, right, let's see if we can find some CW down the bottom end of the band. So put it into CW. Okay, and it was related specifically to the noise reduction, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So that's noise reduction on, and you can vary the noise reduction. So with that fully up, we can change the filter. That's a particularly tight filter now, and I may actually be outside the passband of that filter. You can probably tell that CW is not my forte. Center. It's always when we try to do a demonstration, the signals disappear.
We've got plenty of interference.
That we've got loads of.
They said don't do live, didn't they? But,
They did. There we go, that's still set. So, my CW is not great,
no.
but I'd say that was fairly effective with the noise reduction.
Okay.
If we just compare it to the noise reduction being off, I'd say
Right,
that's
well,
effective.
I've got a funny feeling I can hear the phone's going absolutely nuts, so let me put that on the back to the GoPro.
Okay.
Right.
Fantastic. Let me have a quick look, see if there's any other things. Does the D-Star functionality have the ability to locate repeaters near you via the GPS like the 5100 and 7100? Yes, it does. Can the CS-705 software use the same data files as the IC-700, e.g. for memories and DF config? You can't use the same .icf file. What you can do if you have a config file for a 9700 is you can export the data to CSV and import into the CS-705 software. Hi Greg, watching from Cyprus. All good, thanks very much Greg for your order on the 82KD. Anything else? I think that is. Can you change the colour of the waterfall? Yes, you can, in the same way that you can change it on the 7300 and the 9700. All of those features are exactly the same. So if you've got a 7300 and you set the waterfall up to be exactly how you like it, you can apply those same settings onto the IC-705. Yuck, CS-705 for Windows only. That's how it is. Hello, Ari, watching from Iceland.
Get around, don't they?
Yeah, strong signal handling. About the same as the IC-7300 is the honest answer on that one. Let's have a quick look. See, are LDG going to make a tuner for it? We're on a conversation with LDG about a tuner for it.
Hope so.
Yeah, watch this space. I think is the answer on that one. But certainly matte tuners are there first. But yeah, hopefully we can see.
Martin sorted a little power supply thing out.
Martin has sorted a little power supply out, which conveniently I have one here.
Okay.
Look at that. So we've bought in these the Midel MP705, designed for the IC705, 7 amp linear supply. Nice and compact size, really. Pop that underneath the bench if you're using the 705 at home, and nice little power supply for you to use with the IC-705.
Well, I'm quite excited to get mine, so.
Yes, me too.
You ordered one.
Well, absolutely. And we will, obviously, as soon as we have arrival dates, do keep your eyes on the website, hamradio.co.uk. Click through to the IC-705 page there. We're updating that as we know any more information, but with accessories, as we know accessories as well. So as soon as we have more news and more information for you, everything will be on there. And of course, if you've got one on order already, thank you very much indeed. And as soon as we have one for you, we will be in touch.
Brilliant. Well, this has been interesting.
It's been good.
Slightly stressful setting it up, I don't mind saying. But
that's fair enough.
but anyway, look, yeah, thanks for watching, and well,
we'll try doing one of these again soon.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye.